pleased to have retired Air Force Special Operations Commander, national security expert, Major Glenn Ignacio with us. And also, she is Vice President of the National Security at the Heritage Foundation and former Deputy National Security Advisor, Victoria Coates. All right, we're watching all of this. Victoria, I just want to get your thoughts on what was going through sort of your mind as the president says, dim the lights, play the video, shows white crosses of people who are going to pay respects, article after article, and yet the president of South Africa had said, where is this? I don't know anything about this. And then kind of went on a tangent about how there are people who can express their opinion. This seems to be something that now President Trump has forced the media of the entire world to take a closer look at, Victoria.
Oh, absolutely, Bianca. And I mean, there was a sort of a disconnect between President Ramaphosa and reality in this meeting. And both he and one of his ministers saying, oh, you know, the problem is crime. It's not a racist issue. It so obviously is. And all credit to President Trump for pointing this out, for bringing this into the media where it has resolutely not been, and for, as you said in the previous segment, delivering the receipts. Here are the articles. Here are the videos. You know, this is a problem. You have to deal with it. If you want investment from the United States in your country, which they desperately need, you need the rule of law. And that in a way, you know, this is a tragic backsliding of South Africa to its past. And, you know, he's just not going to tolerate it.
It did seem like a really strange disconnect. And also maybe just the way President Trump is really able to, I guess, you know, put down the hammer, Glenn, but then also lighten the mood as he brought in, you know, Ernie Els, obviously a very well-known, you know, iconic golfer, you know, and say, well, this, you know, do you want to talk about some of the issues? I mean, he really was so magnanimous, despite the fact that even the U.S. media that was in there didn't want to focus on atrocities that were happening, on genocide. You could so clearly hear the narrative. And make no mistake about it, President Ramaphosa, I mean, he's been the leader of the African National Congress, president since 2018, but he's been a player in South African politics. He was there in the negotiating team when apartheid ended. He knows exactly how his country's been running. Do you think his intention here today was to sort of gloss over this and maybe he thought he'd get away with it?
Yeah, I think that, again, President Trump did this artfully as far as being able to sort of come down with the hammer and sort of make it lighthearted so they can still have dialogue. But I saw just the art of redirection and deflection from the South African president and delegation. But that wasn't successful for them. I mean, one of the things that they also have to face is that the corruption within the country and in the government is horrific. It's hard to refute when you have 60,000 people chanting to kill all those farmers and white people in South Africa in a huge coliseum. And at the same time, you have part of the infrastructure of South Africa being devastated where, again, friends just like Blaine, people are ripping up railroad planks and the metal there just so they can sell it. But the railroad system is now down. I mean, it is literally that small, but has had a huge impact in South Africa that really needs to be fixed.
Yeah. You know, obviously the trade that they need from the United States is what this president from South Africa wants. And maybe that's something President Trump will consider, but there's going to be things he wants in return, Victoria. And, you know, when you have South Africa, who obviously has these strategic ties to Iran, Ramaphosa was the board chair of MTN Group, which is Iran's second largest telecom provider, from 2002 to 2013. You know, you have the military ties to Russia. You have their hosting Hamas and Hezbollah. Those are tough things that President Trump will obviously be talking about with them and looking for some type of, you know, back and forth of what are they willing to do if we open trade to you. How would those talks proceed, do you think? And is it worth it for the United States to continue down even on that path with South Africa?
Well, it could be in the future. Right now, I don't really see it, Bianca. And I thought one of the more interesting exchanges had to do with the G20, which South Africa will be hosting in November. And the president basically said, I don't care. I don't want to go to the G20. And this is so important because these international organizations, even groups like the G20, are being exploited by countries like China And the argument is always, oh, well, we have to stay in it or we won't have any influence. How about this? It's just the whole thing's going to fold if the United States isn't there. It's going to be revealed to be a paper tiger. So I think the president's right. He doesn't have to play that game. He can just say, we're going to stay home. If you guys want to make deals with the Chinese, great. You see how that turns out for you. And I think he's going to be chased by then all of these countries, and maybe we can get to better terms in the future. But as I said, I don't really see it right now.
Yeah, I love that point too, because when the West is strong, the world also is in a more peaceful place. And President Trump was very clear about how he's trying to just focus today and put the light on genocide, but also end conflicts that he was not president when they erupted, like what we're seeing in Gaza. Glenn, final thoughts, and also Ukraine and Russia. Message is clear. He wants peace.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, we've seen President Trump have dialogue with Putin and others. Why people may throw that up as a problem, honestly, we haven't had that for 4 years, and that gets us to a better, peaceful situation. And just like the situation we just saw in the Oval Office, I feel that they're trying to get the best of the deal for South Africa, which is reaching out to the United States, but they've also been playing to China and everywhere else. So it seems like they're playing both sides, and President Trump is really seeing right through it and will make the right decisions based on what he sees beneficial for the United States and our safety.
Yeah, and by accepting this and having this dialogue, he walked them right into the Oval Office where he could say, well, look what's happening in your backyard. You dare to say this isn't real. Pretty incredible stuff here. Historic day again, and it's not over yet. It's only 1:40 here on the East Coast. President Trump has a lot more work to do. So great to have you both with us. Victoria Coates and Major Glenn Ignazio. I appreciate your thoughtful analysis on such a big day here. Thank you.
Good to see both of you.